Hi, I'm B. Forbes, author of Drifter's Island. Let me introduce you to the reason why I decided to do this video. I came up with this concept. Wouldn't it be kind of cool if I was reading a book and I could listen to the author talk about the interaction and relationship he built up with the characters as he was writing the book? And more frequently, friends of mine who've read the manuscript are asking about the characters and if the Eastern Shore and Eastville really are like in my book. I think a wonderful place to start is with Cornell Perry, the lead character in the novel. He's sort of a tapestry of many of the finer traits I found in a bunch of my male friends over the years. But frankly, his interests in helping the people of the Eastern Shore in generalities, especially curating dental events for decoys, fly rods, antique, stoves, whatever, comes from my best friend ever, Cornell Berry from Virginia Beach. Cornell died of cancer, and it still amazes me how often I think of him. I still find myself with a knee-jerk reaction to something that occurs in my life, and I immediately think, hell, I'll call Cornell, and then I remember that he's just not there anymore, and I miss that man. Then there's Brad. The friends I'm closest to in life who've read the book tell me that I used to be exactly like Brad when I was younger. I wasn't as wealthy, I can assure and promise you that. But then again, I painted better art than Brad. I wrote his dialogue, so I must think like him. However, I also wrote Roger's dialogue, and I'm nothing like Roger. I can assure you of that. I have no ability to gossip whatsoever. Now's a good time to interject a little bit about being an author. And I describe it this way to my friends, and it's the truth. Writing a novel is putting together 125,000, 130,000 word lie. It just never happened. The conversations didn't happen. The events didn't happen. But at the same time, it brings you into the focus in your life because you have to rely on so many of the reflections, details, vignettes that have happened to you. None more so than Brooke, who is based on the one woman I've always looked for, who's successfully eluded me. I'll take blame for most of that. However, Brooke reminds me that with everyone's faults and sins and shortcomings in the world, there's a chance to turn it all around. Then there's Lady. The interaction between Brad and Lady was easy for me to write. I had 2 black labs over a period of 27 years of my life, and they were incredible hunting dogs. So every interaction between Brad and Lady is a memory of mine. I say they were incredible hunting dogs, but I want to make clear my intention now. I'm not stating that my dogs were any better than anybody else's. They weren't. They just happened to be my dogs. But then again, I've met a few dogs that were dumber than barnacles. God bless them, and their owners. You can count those dogs out. But other than that, labs are just incredible animals. Mr. Emmett. He's the one person that every child fears. We had a Mr. Emmett in our neighborhood, and I've found with everybody who's read the book, they had a Mr. Emmett. His wandering eye was something that came to me about 5:15 in the morning when I wanted to, I was doing some dialogue, and I thought, I need to make this guy more real. The lightning bolt that hit him, that crossed his eye up, the fact that Cornell didn't think he was quote-unquote clinically cross-eyed kind of gave Cornell some girth and authority in medicine. At the same time, I think it made Mr. Emmett far more real. Now let's move on to the folks in Eastville. And I have to include Cheriton in this too. These people know exactly who they are, but I found some damn good friends over there in the course of my life. And I've spent some of the best times of my life in those towns. They were magical, and with those folks. So I'd say that from my perspective, Eastville's exactly like it is in Drifter's Island. And I can assure you of this, talking to them over the course of years, they forget how lucky they are sometimes. Drifter's Island. It was a nickname that was brought up by a friend of mine. We used to hunt over there. He quit. I continued for some 20 years later. Some of the best duck hunting I've ever had in my life, but let me warn you, I put the GPS numbers in the dialogue. That is only because it sounds more real. I promise you, if you look up that waypoint, it's going to take you directly to the worst hunting on the entire Eastern Shore. So don't read my book and then think you're going to go out and hunt my place. I'm keeping that one secret. I'd like to thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so. That always helps a lot. And post a response in the comments section. Remember to tell a friend about Drifters Island, because together we can turn things around.